Good evening. Welcome to Restore. For this class, if you have any kind of props available for you, so either traditional yoga props like blocks and straps or bolsters, or you can always make do with cushions and pillows, books, perhaps cans, toilet paper rolls. We will be using, hopefully, if you don't have anything, then that's okay too, but a strap or a strap-like object. So either a belt or a tea towel that's kind of folded up often works as well. Or even like, the yoga strap that helps to tie your mat together. And folded towels and blankets if needed. I always have a blanket nearby in case it gets cold as well. Although we do a little bit of movement, our restore classes are a lot less fiery, and for good reason. We want to really slow down and restore the body and prepare. So you can get started lying down on your mat, and I will come to join you. Find a comfortable place. So put your knees about mat width apart, or your feet mat width apart, your knees falling in towards each other perhaps. If you're comfortable stretching your legs out along the mat, that's good too. But make sure you're in a place where you can feel like you can give over and release into the earth with every exhale. With every inhale, you fill the body up. And every exhale, you let go. This week, we're still talking about rewriting our stories. We're coming up to the winter solstice. We're coming up to the new year. We're coming up to a new season. We're coming up to a big astrological event where Jupiter and Saturn come close together in another sign for the first time in 200 years. They come really close together for the first time since the Middle Ages. So lots of interesting firsts coming. So today we'll really set the stage for all these new beginnings, knowing that our new beginnings can start at any time, any place, every morning, every breath. But in order to set the stage for any new beginning, we learn to let go of that which doesn't serve us. So we'll really be focusing on giving over to the earth, of softening, of releasing patterns that don't serve us. And having somewhere something to put them away in and send them off. As you lay here, come to your breath. We'll be watching our breath for cues. As soon as we start to hold our breath when we're in a pose, what else are we holding on to? As soon as we start to hold parts of our body, grip, grit, and tense around something, what clues does that have? Our breath will also be a really good look into our body's reaction, our body's feelings towards certain things. So really sit and listen. We move within a pain-free range of motion, and if something isn't working, we come out of the pose, we reset, and we either try something that is not as deep, a different variation, or even coming into something restful to restore and reset the body. So watch that breath here. Notice how it breathes you. Notice its smoothness, its consistency. Notice how the body responds. Can you feel everything expand and everything return? Expanding on the inhalation, returning on the exhalation. So you could keep your legs as they are. You could stretch them out on your mat. Or there's also part way where we can take a bolster or cushion. You start to become a pro after a while with using your feet to gather props. And we can drape our knees over that bolster. We're going to take one hand to the heart center, to the middle of the chest, and one hand to the abdomen. We're doing what we call a wave breath here. Just to watch the breath and see its effect on the entire body. See what we can allow to be affected by the breath. As we inhale, we're going to inhale in a few parts. First, we inhale into that top hand of the chest. Feel it rise and expand, and then continue inhaling so that bottom hand at the abdomen rises. And then in that reverse order, as we exhale, the bottom hand goes down, the top hand goes down, and we release. Again, inhale, fill, fill, release, release, fill, fill, release, release. Continue on your own breath, noticing if one hand or the other isn't responding. What tension may you be holding on to? Are you allowing the body to flow with the breath? Are you feeling the ribs expand? Are you feeling the effect of the diaphragm expanding into the abdominal cavity, inflating the abdomen like a baby as it's breathing in its sleep? Watch as this wave becomes fluid. Hear it like the ocean's waves, retreating and crashing in. Let's do 2 more rounds. And after that last round, you can release the hands and take a moment and continue watching that breath without the hands, ensuring that you maintain the qualities of smoothness. As I said, it'll be our clues. It'll be our clue to when or if anything catches in the body as we move. Slowly bend the knees again, bring the soles of the feet to the floor, bring any props out from underneath. And we're gonna hug those knees in. Take a few rocks side to side, maybe circles on the ceiling in one direction and then the other. And then either using our hand or a belt, a strap, or a tea towel, we're gonna keep that right knee in. Using a belt, a strap, or a tea towel helps to allow the upper arms to stay on the earth, bent at the elbows, shoulders coming back towards the ground. And that left leg is going to stretch out onto the earth. Bring that right knee away from you as far as needed to get both hips grounded. And you can cinch up on the belt a little bit to draw it closer in. And we hold here. Starting to let that thigh bone soften into the hip socket. Imagine all the attachments. It's the strongest joint here. It is made for strength. We have lots of muscle attachments through tendons, almost on all 360 degrees of this joint. Strong, powerful muscles of the core, of the legs, of the hips, the buttocks, the pelvis. So without losing the strength, in fact, by softening these muscles, by allowing them to lengthen, to release, we're actually even strengthening them further. As you imagine all these attachments, can you breathe softness? Can you let go of any gripping? And then slowly bring that left knee back in. Loop the belt around that left shin now. Soften the elbows towards the earth. Stretch that right leg out along the floor and then bring the left knee away and start to bring it in as much as needed. Keep the shoulders falling back. Keep the head supported. And again, just allow that thigh bone to drop into the hip socket and start to visualize again all of the muscle attachments around that hip joint. Breathe softness, breathe release into those muscles, allowing the thigh bone to feel more integrated into the body. And then slowly bring both knees in again. Rock a little side to side. So you can do this with or without your belt or tea towel. Bring both feet into the belt or tea towel so that the balls of the feet are in contact with the belt. And then the hands are holding either side, either end. This one we can extend our arms and keep the legs perpendicular to the floor. So for a lot of us, that actually means bringing them away from our face a little bit. And then once you get to that spot where they feel like they're just suspended, completely supported by the belt. Yes, our hands, our arms are working slightly. You can always loop the belt around the hand once to give you a little bit of extra strength there so you don't have to grip the belt so much. Then we hold here again, letting the thigh bones drop down towards the earth. Feeling connected to the length of the waist, to the support behind the back of the pelvis, to the softness that we're breathing into the front of the hips, the hip flexors, and the connection we feel to our core becomes a little bit more palpable. Keep breathing, feel that abdomen rising and falling. Beautiful. And now let's keep that right leg up. And remember, if we didn't have a belt, we can still do that. If you don't have a belt or strap, you take the hand behind that right leg as you bring the left leg down to the earth. Maybe the left knee needs to be bent with the foot on the earth. Maybe it can stretch out. If you do have a belt or a strap or tea towel, you hold on to either end of that belt as you keep the right leg up there, pressing out through the bottom of the foot, but still drawing that leg in and down towards the earth. Feel that entire length of the back of the leg waking up. Maintain the length of both sides of the waist. Maintain the softness in the abdomen and that connection to the core. The support at the back of the sacrum. If you want, you could start to bring that leg closer towards you. If the left knee was bent and you think you can go a little bit deeper, you could straighten it out behind along the mat. You might breathe here. Beautiful. And now we're going to bring that left leg back up. Place the foot in the belt. So the left ball of the foot is now in contact with the belt, and the right knee bends and the right foot comes to the floor or stretches out along the mat. We bring that leg away from us as much as needed. Press out through the bottom of the foot. Nice extended leg. We soften through the back of the pelvis, allowing our pelvis to be supported by the earth. We breathe into our soft abdomen. We even out the hips, lengthening both sides of the waist equally. We may even start to bring that left leg closer in as it starts to open up. Beautiful. Let's do one more breath here. And then slowly bring that right leg back up. Hug both knees in, release the belt off to the side. And rock and roll a little here. Nice work. We're going to bring a pillow or a cushion beside us, right up next to that hip. Extend the left leg along the floor again. And this time we're going to take that right knee out to the right. And that pillow or cushion might be there to support it. You can keep your right hand on the inner thigh to help coax it down and away. You can keep that left hand on the front of the left to keep it opening up to the left, widening through the pelvis, and just letting go through that right leg. If you don't need the cushion or pillow beside you, that's cool too. You can always bring it further out if you feel like the knee can come deeper. Just feel that very gentle opening through the inner thigh, through the front of the pelvis. And that interesting mobility that is forming in the hips and the sacrum. All the muscles that are getting reawakened. Come back to center, draw both knees in, and we'll go to the other side. So setting up the cushion with a pillow on the left side. Keep the left knee in, stretch the right leg out, and then bring that left knee to the left, having something to rest that leg on. You can put some pressure, put some weight on that right hip to allow the pelvis to stay open to the sky. As you feel that gentle stretch now in the left inner thigh, down the front of the right hip, everything that's opening up, shifting around. The back of the pelvis. And then one more breath here. And we slowly start to bring that left knee back in, hug both knees, and rock. So we're making our way now into a happy baby pose, feet up to the sky. There are a couple of options here. If we want to use a prop, this time feet are about hip width or wider, and we start to draw the knees down towards the elbows. Feet stay facing up to the sky, and the sacrum, we try to keep it as grounded as possible. So we can use that belt around the bottom of the feet again, or you could always take hold of the ankles or shins, the toes, or the outer edges of the feet with the hands. then just start to soften here. Watch your breath as it rocks the body. If there's anything gripping, go back a step. Bring the feet away from the earth a little more, holding on to something a little more proximal, or use a belt or strap or towel. And notice what holds. No judgment, of course. We just want to notice and get curious about what it would take to release that, what it would feel like to release. Now we're going to keep that right foot where it is and take the left leg out along the mat. This time it may not reach all the way down. We're quite a bit deeper now. So if you need to, you can gather your pillow nearby again and have your pillow catch that bottom leg. So we're in a half happy baby pose. Again, we could have that belt around the bottom of the foot as we draw it down on the outer edge of the arm down towards the earth, or use our hand on our ankle or toe or the outer edge of our foot. Check in. Make sure there aren't other parts of the body compensating by holding on to the tension for the hip. The shoulders are usual culprits, the jaw in between the eyebrows. And then slowly, that was pretty deep. We bring the left foot back, bring it into a half happy baby, and get our props ready if needed. Let that right leg come down towards the earth. It may just hang there suspended. If you have nothing there, that's okay as well. But the body always feels safer when there's something to catch. And then we start to soften into this side. Notice that at the beginning of every pose, as you're getting into it, there's a phase of the pose where we're still trying to find the balance, where we're still establishing the shape. And then the next phase comes where we can start to hone in on where we can release, especially on the exhale. And then we can start to get even more curious. We explore the body. Where are we holding tension? Which parts are having trouble letting go? What would it feel like to let go there? What would it take to let go? And then slowly bring both knees back in. That was quite deep. Do a little rock side to side. Nice work. Move the props out of the way. Bring the soles of the feet to the earth. We're going to keep the feet parallel. Keep the knees pointed up to the sky and coming into a supported bridge pose. So supported bridge. We're using a prop underneath our pelvis to lift the hips up. Usually we have our elbows at our side to begin with, fingers up to the sky, and we lift our hips. If you have nothing to put under there, you can hold this bridge pose as well. Keep facing up to the sky, keep lifting hips, keep pressing into the feet, the backs of the arms, the back of the head. If you do have a prop, you can slide that under the sacrum and then becomes a little bit more passive. You can let the pelvis drop into that. Bring the arms to the sides. And after all of that flexion at the hip joint, now we're opening up very gently and subtly, relaxing, extending through that front line of the body. Beautiful. One more breath here. And then slowly we lift the hips up. We bring that bolster away from the low back and let that pelvis fall back towards the earth. Do whatever you need to in between. And take any props out of the way as we make our way to our sides. We're going to press ourselves all the way over onto hands and knees, coming into our first child's pose here. Knees apart, toes together, hips back towards the heels. And then you could come all the way to the earth if the head reaches the earth. You could come to hands or blocks or pillows or any kind of prop that you can catch your body with. If you do have a longer cushion like this and you start with the head on one side, we will switch way and I will let you know when that is. So let yourself release here in our child's pose. I like to cradle my pillow as well. Again, the more feedback our body has from something stable, something secure, something that catches our fall, the more likely it will release, trust, give over. Let's switch directions of our head if it was on the side. And two more breaths here. Slowly press yourself back up to hands and knees. This time coming into a supported puppy pose. So in puppy, usually the arms walk out ahead of us while the hips stay above the knees. And then we melt the forehead, melt the chest down towards the earth. So for this one supported, I have something to catch my forehead partway down. So my hands are still spread on the earth, the fingertips, the knuckles are still in contact. And for the beginning, I like to keep my arms straight as well and off the ground just to really get that melting through the heart. Sometimes I need a little bit more support. And again, if you need more under your chest and your pillow is long enough, you'll do part of it with the head turned one way, and part with the head turned the other way. So I'll tell you what halfway is. Eventually, the elbows may soften down to the earth. That's halfway. You can switch sides. Where is there gripping? Get curious about the parts that keep coming back, that won't let go. The feelings that come up, the thoughts, the memories. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly press your way back up to hands and knees. That's a pretty deep heart opener. You can wiggle side to side. Maybe do a few cats and cows to move energy through the body, through the spine. So we're coming into supported pigeon now. I'm going to start on my left side. And again, any props that you might need nearby to boost up the buttock of the leg that's in front. So step right, the left foot forward, cross across the mat, and then let that left knee fall down towards the mat. I come up on my back toes to walk right leg back as far as I can. And then again, a softer cushion might be most useful here if you need something or your flanks help as well. But we stuff something underneath that left buttock to support it as it melts down towards the. Then I can release the back toes directly back behind me. And I can either stay here up on my hands, supporting myself, keeping my torso long, or maybe I can start to come down onto elbows or props. And maybe I can come all the way down. If I can come all the way down, it helps again to have something for the head to fall on, whether it's your hands, the floor, your fists, or a prop. I've made my own softer block by putting a blanket on top of a harder block. And then just like in child's pose, my hands just feel comforted by cradling my prop here. And we hold here. So that left leg is slightly externally rotated here. And we're really feeling again huge awakening of the entirety of the hip joint and the muscles that extend down from the hip joint and the ones that extend up or laterally. And we breathe space, softness, release into anything that's holding on. 2 more breaths here, softening into the earth. And slowly start to press yourself up. Extract yourself from that side. Do whatever you need to in between legs. And then we'll go to the other side. So step that right foot forward. Walk the right foot across the mat. Come to lay the right knee down close to that right wrist. We shimmy that left leg back as far as it'll go. And any space between the earth and the right foot gets filled up. Pillow or a cushion. I release the back toes down, and I either stay here, trying to keep both sides of the waist long. Maybe I start to come a little bit deeper down onto elbows or a block. Maybe I can find somewhere to rest my head. I get curious about the differences between right and left. I wonder what it would take to soften those places that are gripping. I ask my body. I notice the emotions, the thoughts, the sensations that come up and where. And I acknowledge them. Every exhale draws me closer to the earth. Giving it away with my breath. All of that I don't need. Releasing it with my body as I get heavier into the earth. And really, most powerfully, releasing it by acknowledging it, naming it, not attaching stories or judgments. And slowly we make our way back up, extract ourselves from that pigeon. And do whatever you need to in between to work that through the body. Good. We're going to come to seated here. And to begin with, just bend the knees, bring the feet in front of you. Hug the legs in with the arms and let go of the head and neck. Maybe you put a pillow, maybe your head reaches your knee. And you just lay or sit here curled in a little ball. Breathing space in between the shoulder blades. Feeling the vertebrae expand away from each other slightly on the back plane of the body. Releasing any compression. One more breath here. And slowly come up. Keeping the feet together, you might have to slide the heels in slightly. Open the knees out to the side into Badakanasana. Now, if those knees don't feel safe, pillows can come underneath the thighs or blocks to catch them if they don't like to just hang out in space. And then you can either stay here, seated, letting those knees fall towards the earth, or you could perhaps start to fold forward. And now again, might have something to catch you on the way down or not. Now, if you feel like you're rolling off your sit bones towards the back of the pelvis, you can bring those feet out a little bit further from your pelvis, expanding that diamond shape, and see what happens. Notice what it feels like when we get into the inner thighs. Notice which side feels different. Keep breathing. Take 2 more breaths here. And come all the way back up. Take your time. Draw those knees together. Windshield wiper the knees or shake it out, whatever you need to do. We're going to start to make our way to our backs again. This time, though, if you have a cushion or anything, we're going to do a supported fish pose. So first I'll demonstrate supported, then I'll show you what to do if you do not have any supports. With supported, you bring your couch cushion or your pillow or your series of pillows or your bolster right up into the sacrum legs in front of you. And slowly lower yourself down, wriggling as needed, drawing the flesh away from the sit bones, and then let that head come back. If you need, you can have something else to on top of that to catch your head, and the arms come out beside you. So you see this nice supported opening of the upper body. Now, without the cushion, you can come into fish pose. So that would involve wedging your thumbs and buttocks, coming down on one elbow and then the other, and either staying here while lifting up through the heart, drawing those shoulder blades on the back, or starting to bring the head back and down towards the earth. So either way, we're lifting up through the heart center, one completely supported, the other with a little bit more muscle energy to draw those shoulder blades on the back, draw the elbows towards each other. One more breath here. And then draw the chin in and come all the way down. If you're still on your bolster, roll over to the side a little and take that bolster out from underneath. Beautiful. If the back is feeling grumpy, you can bend the knees again. Let the knees fall in towards each other. And just reset for a moment here. We're going to come into some twists now. So having a bolster your right side to begin with, or a pillow, I'm going to draw the knees in towards each other, and then keeping both shoulders on the ground, let the knees fall to the right to be caught by that pillow. Another option is to have a pillow between the knees as they fall as well, to keep some space there, depending on how much of a twist you would like to do here. And then once you get into that twist, you can look over the left shoulder or straight up to the sky and breathe here. You get to determine how close or far away those knees are to really hone in on the parts of your body that want the extra attention, that want that twist. When the knees come closer in, the twist moves up towards the lumbar spine. When they're further out, it's down closer to the pelvis and the hips. And then one more breath here. And we slowly bring those knees back up through center, and then either have them get caught on the other side by a bolster, take a pillow between the knees, and then arms come out to the side. We look over the right shoulder perhaps this time. And we release. Where can you let go? What might need a little more support? And then slowly come back up through center. Release that cushion or pillow off to the side and hug the knees in, rocking a little side to side. I'm going to get my cushion set up underneath my knees. And we won't be moving too much again, so if you'd like a blanket, then go for it. It's always nice to keep warm as your body's trying to relax. We're going to do a little bit more with our arms here. So to begin, bring the elbows out right beside the shoulders, arms bent to 90 degrees, and then let those palms fall back so that you become a cactus here. You're in cactus arms. Now those backs of the hands may not fall all the way to the earth, so they could hang there suspended, or perhaps something is there to catch them. And we just allow gravity to open up the chest. As we breathe into the heart center, as we feel that slight stretch and slight stress on the shoulder, but not so much that you're holding on. If you are feeling like there's a bit of holding, and again, have something there to catch the back of your hand so that you can really relax into it. That you don't feel like you're gripping out of a feeling of unsafety. Keep breathing here. And now moving the blocks out of the way, if you had anything to hold on there, we're going to just start to move the elbows along the earth beside us, kind of like in a snow angel. If it's better for your shoulders, you can have the arms outstretched so that they can rotate as needed as you do this. But start to snow angel, scrubbing those shoulders on the back behind you. Feeling the movement. Feeling your range of movement. And one more time. Beautiful. Bring the arms up on top of your body so that they're reaching up to the sky. Palms facing each other, fingertips tickling the ceiling. And then let those arms, just like the legs at the beginning of the class, fall heavy into the earth, like they're being plugged in. Imagine the attachments all around that shoulder joint. This joint was made more for mobility and less for strength. It's still a strong joint. But this is where issues of hypermobility and strain of these muscles come to play. When that joint feels unstable, we get pain. When it feels unsafe, we get pain. So let all those attachments feel safe and supported. And then cross the arms, touch the opposite shoulder with the hand. Notice which arm crosses on top of the other. And just let it go here now. Arms are still perpendicular to the floor. And then we reach up again, cross the opposite way. The other arm on top. And reach up again. Take the left arm across the body and the right arm holding it there. And a stretch for that tricep and the back of the shoulder. And same thing on the other side. And then bring the arms up, reaching up towards the sky again, palms facing each other. I'm leading with the thumbs. Start to draw an arc so that the hands come towards the earth behind the head or above the head. You can pause here. Maybe the thumbs or hands come down towards the earth, but see if you can keep the neck long, the shoulders on the back. Hold it here. Lengthening from the armpit out through the fingertips. And then all the way back up and over to the other side. Eventually bringing the hands beside you, maybe even under the covers. Palms facing up. Closing our eyes into Shavasana. We return to that smooth breath, that wave-like breath that makes the body expand, release, expand, and release. We scan the body here, just noticing the flow, noticing where we may or may not be holding still, not attaching stories or judgments. Start at the top of the head, the scalp, down through the forehead, between the eyebrows, the eyes, cheeks, the nostrils, lips, jaw, ears, down through the sides of the neck, towards the tops of the shoulders, down through the upper arm, the elbow, the lower arm, the wrists, the hands, thumbs, first, second, third, fourth fingers. Come down the front of the neck. Feel the spread of the collarbones, down through the chest, down the entire rib cage, to the abdomen, the side waist, the front of the pelvis, down the back of the neck, across the upper back and shoulders, down through the mid-back, to the lumbar spine, sides of the waist, the sacrum and the pelvis, sit bones, the root, down through the hip joints, through both thighs, knees, lower legs, ankles, tops of the feet, heels, arches, balls of the feet, and every toe, the great toes, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Can you feel the tension dissipated? Have certain holding patterns come more into the spotlight? Can you ask your body, what space, energy, or consciousness must I be to release this? Before you leave today, make sure you thank yourself for your practice. Thank yourself for taking time to set the foundation for all the newness that's on its way in our lives, not only at this time of the year, but every single day that we choose. You can stay here as long as you need to, as long as you can. And I will see you again soon. I wish you a beautiful winter solstice, and I wish you beautiful new beginnings whenever you choose them. Thank you, and many solstice blessings.